Hello. Okay, I'll try this again. I just tried to make this video and it just came out as complete babble. So I'm trying again. Hello. Yeah, I just wanted to make. Why can't I talk? I don't know how to talk. A be, 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 be. Um, yeah, it's just an update because it's been so long since the last, like, since I last publicly updated anybody on anything. Yeah, it's always really, it makes me unhappy when I go too long without any kind of public update in the form of a blog post or a video or anything. Because it's so crazy that I have all these people sending me money every month on Patreon. Um, and even though, yeah, every time I mention this, people go, no, don't worry, we understand. I think most people understand that software development can sometimes be slow, and it can seem a lot slower from the outside than it actually seems. Like things are moving slowly from the outside, when in reality I'm like extremely busy writing a shitload of code every day. And this month, so basically I've been working on the new scripting stuff. I'll try and explain actually. So this is a really common thing in software development. If you're a software developer, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm trying to get from here to here, basically. Where this is like the current version of Blockhead on Patreon. And this would be the first iteration of the scripting system. I was like, okay, in order to get from here to here, I'm going to have to change the way that sample data loading works. So that was a whole thing. And then it was a whole thing because I realized in order to change the way that that works, I have to change this and this and this. And I was like, okay, in order to change this and this, I have to completely change the way that multi-threading works in Blockhead. And I was like, if I'm changing that, then I might as well refactor this whole system over here because that doesn't make sense anymore. And if I'm changing that, then I need to change that and that. So I'm trying to get from here to here, but I'm all the way over here. It's just like side quests upon side quests. So the past month has basically just been me like checking off all of this stuff, trying to get all the way back to here where I want to be, which is going from here to here. So that basically happened yesterday morning. I'm basically back to where I want to be, which is working on the scripting system. So yeah, the multi-threading stuff was very interesting to work on. I'm pretty happy with the way that's basically Blockhead will be a lot more optimal in terms of it will make a much more effective use of your CPU cores from now on. It will things should be a bit more performant in terms of things happening in the background. So the baking system, for example. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. It's too complicated. So yeah, what I'm working on next, I'm not going to keep recording because it just slows me down too much to record. But what I'm doing is, so I have this whole security system that I've been working on because I want to allow script authors to run external processes if they want. The whole part of the motivation behind this idea in the first place was Composer's desktop project, which is basically a bunch of command line programs. Sorry. So I want to allow script authors to run external processes if they want to, but then I'm throwing a lot of roadblocks in their face to try to stop them from doing it, just because I don't want people to harm themselves running external processes willy-nilly. So I've got all kinds of warnings that I've written, and then I've got a whole security system to stop I'll give an example, like, so I have this run process command where you can do something like, if I try and run the calculator, for example, which is here. So this thing will pop up and you can say, all right, this is like a trusted program. I know it's not going to harm me or steal my bank details or anything like that. So I'm always going to allow that. Then it will work. Then it will launch the process as part of executing the script. And then it will appear up here. Where you can allow that command, but only with specific set of arguments, for example. So that's all in progress, that security stuff. But yeah, here's an example of a sine wave. Up on Octave. There's a little glitch there, actually. I assume it's just because I'm in debug mode, it glitched a little bit there. Yeah, so yeah, when it comes to like the way that external processing is going to work is like, I want to allow you to do something like let's think about it now. This is all stuff, this is going to change massively. It's going to keep, the way that the script API works, I know it's just going to keep changing more and more as I keep developing it. But I want to do something like, if you want to like process the input audio coming from above, from the lane above, it would be something like, I've forgotten how to write Lua. Temp file, write buffer. There's some kind of function like write buffer to temporary file. Let's turn off that. Input, and you'd get a file name back, and then you could run process with whatever path to exe. I think I did it so that you can pass a table of arguments. So you pass a temp file, for example. It would be something like whatever the program is you're running, in file equals. I don't know how you do this. I can't remember how Lua string concatenation works. Is it like this? I think it's like that. Oops, file. So then there'll be another function that's something like get temporary file path. So that blockhead will generate a temporary file path for you. So you're like running this. What we're doing is we're taking the input audio data. It's going to write it to a WAV file or something, and it will give you the file path back. Then you can pass that to whatever process you want. And then processed audio read WAV file, whatever, from the file that the process generated. And then you would set that to the output buffer. So in fact, I'll probably set it up so you can just go output equals. So this is the kind of thing that I want to allow you to do. So it's going to take a lot of work to get there. But for just generating audio at the moment, I've got something that works. But things like this set frame, I'm probably going to make the buffer explicit because there's like an implicit output buffer that it's writing to at the moment. So I'll probably make the first argument you write, there'll be like a built-in variable for the output buffer, something like that. So you pass that as the first argument there. So yeah. I think it's going to be really good. I'm glad to be back to actually thinking about this stuff again. The last month has just been trying to get back to this point. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, hopefully, I don't know, I could do some more boring videos where I write C++, but it's so distracting for some reason. Just having OBS running, I find, slows me down a bit. Anyway, hope you're all having a good day. Bye bye.